Was reported today that JP Morgan has gone live with their JPM coin. This is their digital depository token. It's not available to the public. It's available to qualified institutional players within JP Morgan's ecosystem. It's also not a stablecoin. Let me explain why. The JPM token runs on fractional reserve banking rails, meaning that the token itself is backed by customer deposits. But here's the catch. Banks engage in fractional reserve banking, meaning that they don't actually hold customer deposits, but they lend them out in the marketplace and make money on customer deposits. But in the event of a bank run, they don't have your cash on hand when you want it. That's why we have FDIC insurance. You see, the Fed has to step in and guarantee your deposits in the event of a bank run because banks don't have the money on hand to cover it. Now, stablecoins under the Genius Act do not require FDIC insurance because they don't operate on a fractional reserve model. Every stablecoin created has to be backed one-to-one by a Treasury equivalent asset. That Treasury equivalent asset has to be deposited in a separate account, and banks cannot rehypothecate or lend out those reserve assets and make money off of them. So therefore, you don't need to have FDIC protection over Genius Act compliant stablecoins. Now, JP Morgan has publicly said that they know that their digital token is not a stablecoin, and I can back that up because I've read their white paper. It's not a stablecoin. They claim it's better than a stablecoin because it's backed by fractional reserve deposits. Now, let's break down what that really means. Yes, it's not a stable coin, meaning it's not backed one-to-one under the Genius Act by Treasury assets that are separately custodied and cannot be rehypothecated. Now, this gives JP Morgan a lot of upside in the game because they get to take all of these digital tokens that are backed by customer deposits under fractional reserve banking and lend them out, rehypothecate them, and make money, but they don't have to hold the underlying reserve assets in trust. That's why it's different than the Genius Act, and that's an important distinction. Banks that launch pure Genius Act compliant tokens give the customer the upside because those underlying assets must be backed by treasuries, and those treasuries cannot be lent out by the banks, which makes the stablecoin, in my opinion, much more secure than a depository token.